Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to week 3 of August, where we're breaking down all things business entities so y'all can get it right before you get in too deep. Okay? Y'all, if you don't know who I am, and this is the first time you got an email from me, my name is Patrice L. Berry, aka the Tax Cop. And I am breaking things down all month dealing with business entities because we gotta have a good foundation from the start. Week 1, we talked about business entities from a high level where we looked at the IRS website. Week 2, we went more in depth into what those business entities were, and I gave you a little snapshot, a little sneak peek of the SBA website where it breaks it down even more. Yes, we do have our own little cheat sheet charts, and we have some resources of charts that shows you the pros and cons of each one of the business entities so you can make a more informed decision. We will make sure that those were attached in those weekly emails. But this week, I told y'all we're going to go to the States. Why? Because in most cases, I have people coming to me to ask me questions about should I or should I not be an LLC? Or what do I need to do to register my business? Before we go any further, I'm going to make it very clear. Anything I tell you is going to be for education and entertainment purposes only. I am not an attorney. Okay? So a lot of times I don't want anybody who's an attorney to be like, baby, she in my lane. She in my lane. I stay in my swim lane. I stay in my swim lane. I am going to give you some resources that you can go to go and register your business entity yourself. I told you the 3 states that we're going to look at. Maryland. Why? Because my business is based in Maryland. I reside in Maryland. Virginia, because I have clients that are in Virginia. And then Wyoming. Why? Because in these internet streets, people are talking. And if you want to register a low-cost entity and have that protection, even with the Corporate Transparency Act, where you got to file, for those of y'all who have not filed, it's still a thing. I know they're talking about it in a court. It's still a thing. It's got to be done for existing business entities that were before January 1st, 2024. You got to get it done before December 31st, 2024. If you just now starting a business, you got 90 days to get that thing in. Corporate Transparency Act. We did some videos about that way back when we started these weekly videos. That's another topic for another day. But if you got questions and was like, Patrice, I'm not sure if that applies to me, hit us up and we'll see if we can get those videos to you. Needless to say, let's jump into where we are, breaking stuff down, the resources we got. Find an attorney. You could go to someone else for registration. You do not have to do what we say. I like people to know what they're doing. I personally registered my business entities myself because I'm a DIY type girl on certain things, because I have paid other stuff and then had to figure out what was going on and all the things. So I like to know what's happening, right? So I like to be informed, and then the auditor and me got to know the criteria, baby. So let's step into what is going on. All right. So let's go to Maryland first, because I said let's go to Maryland. You're going to see all the different entity sites, what I like, what I dislike. I'm not going to tell you. When I first registered my business, it didn't look like this. I'm going to tell you the truth. It did not look like this, y'all. This is a vast improvement. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Let's max it out on my screen. I like this website. I like this website quite a bit because it's very interactive. Yes, our governor is on there, but the things I like is it's easy to start a business in Maryland. They made it very, very user-friendly to walk you through the different stages, the types of things you need to do. If you want to start a business, register your business here, obtain your EIN, and they walk you through all the steps, the things you need to do to manage it, etc., right? So when you do this, you need to make sure that your business name twofold, right? And I'm not going to step on no attorneys' footsteps or their tails or anything. I'm not in a lane. But I need you to do your due diligence before you register your business in any state. I don't care what state, right? If you're in your state and you got a business name, you need to go do some research to make sure there's no trademark pressed out there. So y'all need to go on over to PTO and make sure don't nobody have it. Why? I'm going to tell you because I learned some stuff the hard way. You don't want to be filing some stuff and you out here and got your t-shirts made and all your brand stuff, and next thing you know, somebody got a cease and desist because you just spent all the monies because you didn't do your homework. I'm telling y'all, begin with the end in mind, do your due diligence. Then make sure nobody in your state has that name. But and go out, like do the URL searches and do your research. We got the internet in our hands. We got the internet on our tablets. We got the internet available to us. Don't be lazy. Do the research. Do the research. And if you're uncertain and you need to make a consult with somebody because you just don't know, I'm telling you, Dr. Google your friend. Use Dr. Google to figure out so you're not infringing on nobody else's anything, because it's going to be more costly later on if you do it wrong. All right, so let's go back to these websites. Here, in Maryland, you'll go here, you'll register your business, you'll do a business entity search, right? And it walks you through the things and the steps you need to. If you got to do multiple registrations, etc., right? And it's not just for an LLC, it's for anything, and they take you through. Then you got to obtain an EIN. Every state, obtaining an EIN can take you about 15 minutes on the IRS website, but I probably should have did a whole video on registering an EIN because sometimes y'all be messing it up. But that's a different video for a different day. We want to make sure that's done right. File the requirement. Right? So y'all see how they did this. FinCEN, they automatically was like, hey, go on and get your Corporate Transparency Act filing taken care of. This is new. Y'all got to tell who owns the business because they want to know. They all in your business. And then figure out what taxes, etc. you need to do. And get your licenses and permits. And then get your insurance and health insurance. This is a checklist of sorts. I'm a checklist type girl. And I love me a good old checklist. I love me a good, okay, did I get it done? Am I moving in the right directions? This helps. All right, so that's Maryland's. You can register an LLC. You can register your corporation. Let's look at it real quick. Let me go back. And they got, everywhere you go, each state has different fees for these registrations. Let's go back to start your business. No, let me go back to the Maryland. I know I'm clicking, y'all. Y'all like, why did she do this? I was just on there. Is it on business entity search? I'm gonna go here. Fees. I know Maryland's. The different fees, right? So it costs. Sole proprietorship you can file. You can file a trademark, a trade name. That's what you're going to do business until, like kind of reserving it until you go and register the business. If you file this, that just means you filed the name. Not necessarily, it's not an LLC, right? It's not a corporation. So we got a sole proprietorship. We got a general partnership, okay? We have our LLC articles of organization that are being filed. That costs $150 to do online, unless you want to rush, right? A non-Maryland. So this is a domestic, this is a non-domestic or a foreign. We got our corporation, articles of incorporation for domestic and non-domestic, right? Non-Maryland corporations. And then registration and tax accounts. There's a fee associated with these registrations. Do you always got to get an online certified copy? You do not, but it's something to keep in mind. So that's how it works in Maryland. That's the cost. $150 to register an LLC, get your articles of organization. That's just the first part, not all the other corporate formalities and things that you need to do. This is why I say I'm not an attorney. Anything I tell you right now is for educational and entertainment purposes. Keep that in mind. All right. So in Virginia, we're registering a business in Virginia. Here's their checklist. What do you need before you start? Before you even go to them. So you can go get the name in Maryland. But for Virginia, what they're telling you is, let's make this a little bit bigger because y'all might have been like, Patrice, that was tiny. All right. What you need before you start registration, you need your EIN. And in Maryland, we showed you how to get that, right? Who's going to own the business, their social security, the legal business entity name, and the address, and an entity type. So this is why we're talking about this. What entity are you going to be? That sole prop, that LLC, that partnership, that corporation. You need to know that. And then your NAICS code. And you can look that up here. The industries and things that you happen to be in. And the type of tax that you're registering for. Okay? And then you go to here and you start filling that stuff out. So this is why you need to have your EIN ahead of time. But I still need you to go do your research on that name, because you don't want to get out there and find out you can't use that name. And this is how you do it through Virginia. Then for Wyoming. Wyoming is one of the cheaper and more protected states. Now, keep in mind that if you're filing in Wyoming and you don't reside in Wyoming, it will be a foreign filing. Okay? We're filing it as a foreign entity. That you got to figure out how much money was earned in Wyoming versus somewhere else. That's your business. Figure it out. You might need a more in-depth conversation. But if you file your LLC in Wyoming, this tells you how to create the LLC, right? They give you a PDF. Look at that. Y'all, I love a great checklist. Who don't love a great checklist? I do. And then they give you the links to go back, how to search. Come on, Wyoming. Do your thing, right? And I like Wyoming, too, because it costs about $100. It's reasonable. It's reasonable. Maryland is the same way, 100, 150. You can do it yourself, but do your research. Even if you got to do a consult with an attorney, do what y'all need to do. These checklists exist. Come on now. Come on now. They do a great job of telling you how you can get business in and how to do business in Wyoming. I love when you can do things like this. Really great checklists, how to do stuff, live links. Who doesn't want something like that? Everybody should. So giving you some ideas, go figure out what's going on. Search the name. Make sure nobody else has it. And then go and register that business in that state, or at least the trade name, so nobody else can get it while you're trying to get your stuff together so that you can move forward. Do things the right way, y'all. Don't be out here hoping and a wishing and a praying, because I don't want you to get caught out there down the road when you need to know the entity, make sure the entity is registered, be in compliance on an annual basis so you can keep doing business in that state. And also make sure you get that EIN, because that's your business's social security number. That's how it goes out here and gets to be identified when it comes to opening the bank accounts, getting business tax, getting your DUNS number if you want to do government contracting, etc. Do it right. Take the time. Do it step by step so that you are protected as you build, because it's an asset that you're going to build that is going to change your legacy, your life, and the lives of those that are around you when you start adding employees and building to your team. All right. So one more week in August. That last week is going to be a roundup of the things that we talked about, high level, things that y'all need to know. Hopefully you walked away this month with things to actually apply and take the steps. If you're uncertain what to do and you got some additional questions, we do offer a 30 or 60-minute business consultation. Yes, it's a paid consultation where we can go in and answer some of your specific questions. We got some resources, some people that we can refer you to if it's out of our swim lane. We truly just stay in our swim lane, but there are some things that you can do. We want to make sure it's done right. And if you just want to make sure that you are doing the things correctly and can consider things correctly, take the time. Go to our website. Go ahead and do a 30. In most cases, I find that most people just need a 30-minute business consultation to kind of shape it and create and build off of their checklist themselves so that they can go to that next level when it comes to businesses. All right. Talk to y'all soon. Have a great one. Until next week.